heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
In the meantime, and as usual, go fuck yourself.
YouTube! What's going on today, man? Look here, look, listen. Nadeshot, owner of 100 Thieves, rich man, very professional gaming career in the past, now as a professional streamer. I have to say it, unfortunately. I mean, he's got some good takes sometimes, but sometimes these guys, a lot of the times, 9% of the time, but 100% of the time, they kind of miss the plot. They don't really see what's going on and are also blinded by their, well, I guess bias as well, by their implications and their involvement in the gaming community and gaming scene, and they don't get to see it with their eyes wide shut. And Nadeshot, in this instance, has a horrible take and might be mentally challenged, because what Nadeshot is saying right here on this video is that people nowadays are negative and they want games to fail. Now, at first glance, you might think to yourself, and I thought to myself at first, he has a point, because I do see a lot of people online constantly negative about every single game in the world. But then I thought about something here, and I was like, you know what? Not really. That's mostly just a bunch of beta male clickbait and rage bait and midget ass hiding behind monitor bitches hating on Call of Duty because it's the only thing that gets them views. If you hate on Call of Duty, it's a guaranteed easy road to get views. If that's a pro tip, by the way, if you're doing Call of Duty videos and you want to make easy money and get bigger, even if you don't agree with it and think you're just lying and just completely gaslighting everybody, make hate Call of Duty videos and you will have a more successful channel than anything else right now in the gaming community, and quicker. I digress. Let me get back to the point here. The point is that Nadeshot has brain damage in this take right here, all right? By the way, if you're new here, before we go any further, do me a favor. This video needs to be seen by all the people. We need to get this video up, honestly. You know what? Listen, you want me to be successful? You like me? You like this channel? You want to support me? Well, then stop being an asshole. Hit that like button. It's real easy, you cocksuckers. Also, if you're new here, you can see it's great. It's free, by the way. It doesn't cost you nothing. Got nothing to lose. Hit this subscribe button. You can change your mind later on down the road. It's that simple. Nothing to lose. Watch Nadeshot here. Let's get into it.
I'm serious, too, when I say this. For some reason, everybody in the gaming community wants games to fail. It's very bizarre.
I don't mean to interrupt, apologize, but I want to say something about that. No. They do not want games to fail. First of all, the online perception of reality is not that of the real world, and people seem to get confused with that, especially kids and young adults who grew up with the internet thinking it's real life. Someone like me who's an older boomer, grew up without the internet, grew up with real life interactions, not on the digital platform. We do not view the internet as real world. And it isn't real world. Even though the perception of reality to you kids and those people there who grew up on the internet think this is like real world, and what happens online is an accurate representation of the outside world where the digital world is not really involved. It's not. The online world wants games to fail, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, because it helps them get views. So when you watch YouTube videos and review videos, negativity, that's the problem with social media, okay? Negativity, this is a psychological 101 class you'd learn at university or in high school, okay? Negativity draws more attention from people than positivity, and it is an evolutionary process. And the reason why is this: your brain and your mind and your psychological, whatever you want to call it, is drawn to negative information more so than positive, because for a survival standpoint, you have to be more cognizant and more aware of the negative input you're getting from around you, because that would lead to is more of a risk of your actual life. Positive information, if you miss it, it doesn't cause you to die. But if you miss a negative input, you are going to die outside in the real world during an evolutionary process. So your mind is always on the lookout for negativity. And it doesn't matter what kind of negativity it is, because your brain can't discern before a physical threat or a mental threat of, like, bad words or whatnot. So you're always looking for it. So that's a pro tip. People don't want games to fail. Long story short, people online use that to get views they use negativity rather to get views, because it helps them get more clicks. I digress. I just wanted to make that point. I think it's important.
Like, the whole thing with XDefiant is still, like, stumps me to this day. People complain about not having enough games to play, But when new games come out, even before they have played it, they're like, that game sucks. I'm not going to play it. Listen.
Using X-Defiant as an example was stupid, brain dead take. Everybody was super hyped on it. Everybody wanted to succeed because they were, hating on Call of Duty is very popular. So anything that is opposing Call of Duty is a positive for people. Call of Duty killer thumbnails were up the ass, dude. It was crazy. So many people are like, Call of Duty killer, this is so amazing, it's so amazing. The point is that games suck nowadays, and that's why we're hating on it. Anyways, you know what? I'm going to shut up for the rest of this. I'll let them talk. I apologize. There's so much to say here.
Man, if we keep tearing down these studios trying to make good games, like, yeah, not every single one is going to be fun and not every single one is going to be a hit. But if we're sitting here, like, preying on its downfall before the game even comes out, what do you think's going to happen? Nobody's going to be investing in gaming and making new games. And you're not going to have shit to fucking play. You're going to...
No one is preying on the downfall before a game comes out, except Call of Duty, because I've already established the point that hating Call of Duty gets views. Everybody wants a game to succeed. The point is that people who make games now suck at their jobs. That's what every comment underneath this post is saying. The games are incomplete. The games are buggy. The games are trash. It takes them 6 months and a bunch of updates to even make the game playable. Call of Duty is like that as well. When the game comes out, it is mediocre at best, and everyone just gets fed up with it because their patience for this shit. And also, the game's launched a whole lot more complete and better than they do now, and people are fed up and they quit. That's why. Okay, Jesus Christ. Nadeshot, what is wrong with this guy?
Just be sitting here playing MW2 remastered edition. You're gonna be sitting here trying to play fucking the same old games for the 1,000th time.
Because back in the day, the games were made properly. That's why. The people are actually critical of the games now, Nadeshot, because they are poorly made by people in this. Okay. Nadeshot is a woke idiot and doesn't want to accept the fact that DEI, diversity, equality, or inclusivity, bullcrap, the hiring process for these people, the people working on games nowadays, their talent is not that of the people before them, because we are hiring people not based upon merit, but based upon where they put their dicks, how many of those they have, if they have one or don't have one, what pronoun they put in their Twitter bio, if they think the climate crisis. With everything getting hired nowadays, especially in the arts area, is very political. 90% of people working in the arts are all lefty people, and their idea of hiring people based upon they hire people based upon things that are not of merit, which is the exact opposite of equality. It's actually communism. I'm not trying to sound like some kind of conspiracy theorist, but that's what equality of outcome is not the same as equality of opportunity, okay? You can't punish people because they're good at a job. It's not their fault that they had, whatever reasons led them to be better than everybody else at this point of the hiring. You can't punish those people and hire a bunch of boobs and a bunch of morons and dumb frogs on the log because, they say the right things or whatever because they're not like an Asian or a Jew or a white male. We got to hire like someone from freaking Zimbabwe who, was building stick mud huts previously, but now we got, they're brave and powerful, strong people, right? Give me a fucking break. That's why people, okay? We don't even need to look at the comments. That's the base take, because the people working in these studios are not qualified. They're hired for other reasons, and it shows. Their games suck. These people in the arts, look at all the Disney, look at all the movies, no one's going to movies barely because you know why? They suck. The video games, same thing. I mean, look at X-Defiant. What the hell's a game? There's like one white character. The rest are all a bunch of, what someone who's in their 40s would think like, oh, these cool kids, oh, equality, oh, like, look at this gay character, look at this trans character, look at this black character, oh, God, we got to make sure. Like, even Jerry Seinfeld said.
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males of 22 episodes.
Yeah, let's get into that.
No, but you
take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here? Oh, this really pisses me off. But go ahead. Really pisses me off. People think it's the census or something. I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares? It's just funny. Funny is the world that I live in. You're funny, I'm interested. You're not funny, I'm not interested. Okay. And I have no interest in gender or race or anything like that, but everyone else is kind of with their little calculating, is this the exact right mix? I think that's, to me, it's anti-comedy.
And that's what these people do when they make these video games and make these movies. They try to make the game, first of all, constrict themselves and their creativity to fit into a box that is DEI. Then at the same time, they hire people and they constrict everybody into a box of DEI. So they just keep constricting their creativity and they're just stifling actual good products. That's the facts, Jack, okay?
Because these billionaires and fucking multi-billion-dollar publishers, they're not gonna greenlight any new games, any new concepts, any new IP. I mean, I try to put myself in the shoes of myself when I was like 16 years old, but I can't. I was excited for new games when they came out.
Because that was 20 years ago, Nadeshot, and games were actually good. Comparing games in the past from Halo to Gears of War to the Call of Duties, and even, I mean, the only game we've actually had recently that was somehow amazing, even though, you know, it's kind of like kiddie now, is Fortnite. That's a great game. The Call of Duty games are just rinse and repeat and recycled, so no one really gives a damn about that anymore. The actual excitement for that is done because it's just more of the same every single year. And the X-Defiant was an okay game, but they, you know, the developers don't know what they're doing, and it's just a money grab from Ubisoft, so that's out the window because all they want to do is try to sell you microtransactions. There's nothing to actually do, and the netcode hit detection sucks, and all those problems with it. Every other video game is not a multiplayer video game. They bring it out and they try to, like, what's the new what's that game, Assassin's Creed? They tried to make some woke nonsense and make the main character some black samurai when it wasn't even closely remotely related to history, but they had to put a black guy in there as the main character, and oh my god, we have to have some kind of equality, and even the Japanese were like, this is bullshit, and so that has negative press, and that happens repeatedly over and over again with movies, with anything form of entertainment. Like I just said, it's the left has lost their damn mind, and this right here is a guy who doesn't want to see the truth or admit that. He's trying to make up excuses and blame it on us, the consumer. You guys are hating games. No, Nadeshot. People will love things if they're good. Also, at the same time, online's not a reality. People are over negative when something actually is good. But most of the time, I think people in the real world see the bullshit, except this guy because he lives in LA and is also involved in the corporate gaming leftist world, and he's moving to Texas, and we'll see a different Nadeshot probably in 2-3 years from now. Just watch. It happens to everybody. Watch. As soon as they leave their area of, like, if they live in California and they move somewhere else where it's more of like a open state, in the fact that, you know, you don't have to abide by nonsense, people start to change, and then they vote for the same people they left, and then it turns into California, which is crazy. They leave a blue state, and then blue or red, I always get the colors mixed up. Anyways, Bloods and Crips out here, you know what I'm saying? Gang, gang.
The problem is now we have too many options. We've seen too many different games. We've seen too many different ways to interact with games. Like, back in the day, bro, in 2007, when Halo 3, Gears of War 1, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare dropped the same fucking year, bro, we were lined up outside of GameStops, whether it was in a mall or attached to a fucking Hollywood video, sitting there waiting, camped out, drinking fucking Mountain Dew, waiting for these new games for the midnight release. Everybody was so excited about it. Now when new games come out, we're fucking sitting around a goddamn fire witch artifact, like doing a satanic ritual for the game to fail.
Wrong. Nadeshot, wrong, because those games were bangers. Those games were new. Those games were exciting. One game did come out was Fortnite. That was amazing. That was crazy. The hype behind that was huge. The Fortnite World Cup, I know it's super cringy, but that's not me to say that. But the actual, you know, popularity of that game is the biggest game of all time, because you know why? The people making it knew what they were doing and still know what they're doing, and it was absolutely just one of the biggest games since Minecraft. I think it's the biggest game. Minecraft and Fortnite, I think, are the two biggest games in the last 10 years, for God's sakes. Listen, Nadeshot, it's not us, all right? It's not the consumer. It is the people making the games. And this is a brain dead take. You're going to smarten up once you get out of that hellscape of California and a bunch of morons. I mean, like, I don't know how, maybe your boost is up too many times, maybe you wore a mask way too much, and you have, you know, you had oxygen depletion and probably maybe turbo cancer in the brain. And hopefully you can get that fixed with some stem cells hit with Joe Rogan in Texas. All right? But yeah, if you see the comments down below, he's missing out how games have evolved. AAA games used to be content complete in the 2000s. Now nearly every AAA game is a chopped up, buggy mess, and it's obvious how financial focused publishers are. Indie games miss this entirely, are loved because they echo older eras. This guy is childish and moronic to blame the customer. We do not like the product. We are very specific about what we do not like. We keep getting the same slop served up to us. We can smell it before it enters the room. Would you go back to a restaurant that gave you that experience? If all the game publisher went belly up tomorrow, and they should, within the next 6 to 9 months, new small publishers and game companies would spring up because there's an unquenchable demand for the real deal. Do you think if that shitty restaurant went out of business than it would be even the overall restaurants. Get a grip. Exactly. Nadeshot's a moron. No offense to Nadeshot, but like, I got an entire counter argument for this. At what point did our community say, fuck you companies, hope you fail? Because if memory serves me correctly, it never used to be like that. I remember getting complete games a couple console generations ago. You mean to tell me they shit still like that now? Because I beg to fucking differ. So when these terrible dreaders start upping the price and downing the quality, we're not supposed to get mad or say nothing. There used to be a time when you could buy something just based off the box art. You can't even do that shit these days. And this guy said right here, probably when companies stopped making games for enjoyment and started only focusing on how many dollars they could squeeze you dry of with the least amount of content. Exactly. We all know what's up. Nadeshot does not. Nadeshot needs to come hang out with me more often, because whoever his friends are and his influencers are detrimental to his mental intelligence, mental well-being, and his family, because they're all going to suffer. So Nadeshot, listen, I'm a pretty good golfer. We'll get together and play some rounds of golf, and I will teach you, young man, how to be an alpha male elite game and stem off an athlete. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I'm the Ghost of 8. Stay black, question authority. Don't let the honky cracker please shapeshifters building movies, hard screen ships, 7-Eleven, part-time job, just Google Tower 7, the Bohemian Girl, worship owls, there's a flat millennium was fake, Alan Jones, a bit hugs, forced to the frog, gay white man. Bring you down.